What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I am finally doing my review of the RawBeautyKristi times Colourpop collaboration called At Forest Sight. Within this collection, I only picked up the eyeshadow palette because y'all know I'm like obsessed with eyeshadow palettes and I collect them. Even though a lot of people say don't collect makeup, I do. I don't know why, for some reason, I just have an obsession with eyeshadow palettes. I have probably every single color ever made. However, I just still keep on picking them up. As well as I did want to support RawBeautyKristi because I really do love her videos and I really like her. I feel like she's such a good person and I just wanted to support her. And yeah, I know you guys are probably saying, you know what, you're really cheap, you should have bought more. The other stuff just didn't catch my eye. I was like, this palette looks really cute. It is a whole bunch of matte shades, and if you guys know me, I'm not really too big on too many mattes. However, there is 2 shimmers within here, so I probably should do an all matte look. However, I probably won't because y'all know I just need a little bit of shimmer in my life. I always say it's the gay in me that I'm just attracted to, you know, shiny things, glitter, stuff like that. So anyways, y'all, if you guys are interested in that, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. I will be doing a tutorial and review of this. I just want to go ahead and say before we get into this video, though, it is currently out of stock. However, to my knowledge or to my understanding, they will be coming back out with it because it does have a email me when back in stock, and it's still up on the website and everything like that. So I think that it will be coming back out as soon as they restock up on this. Y'all, I just want to say before we get into this, like, say a prayer for me. If y'all have been watching my makeup videos, I literally always start off my eyeshadow without any type of foundation on, and I have my foundation on right now because I did film a video before this and I was just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to like wipe it off, do my eyeshadow and then put it back on. I was like, that's just too much, so let me just try to work around it. So say a little prayer for me because honestly, y'all, even within my 13 years of makeup, I still have not perfected not being messy with eyeshadow. I'm just super sloppy with it, and I go and clean up after with a makeup wipe or makeup remover. And in today's video, I'm just like, you know what, let me challenge myself and just kind of already have my makeup done, but we'll see how that goes. I'll probably just end up wiping it off and redoing it. But anyways, y'all, let me not ramble too much because as usual, this video may get a little bit long because it is a tutorial and review. So let me shut up. Let's go ahead and get into it. If y'all are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all. So this is the palette right here. Let me go ahead and put it right up close to the camera so that way you guys can see it. There are 3 shimmers within this palette and the rest are all mattes. So there is 9 mattes, 3 shimmers. So this is a 12 pan eyeshadow palette, and I will say the color arrangement is actually very beautiful. I love it. I do wish there was a little bit more shimmers in there. Y'all know me though, I literally always say that within every video. I love a palette that just kind of has like half and half, you know. And I know there's a lot of people out there who prefer to just do mattes, you know, they're like a more matte look. However, me, I am just shimmer. Anyways, let me just go ahead and read this from the website right here. So this retails for $20, like I said, for 12 eyeshadows, which I think is pretty good. Y'all know Colourpop is just super affordable. So this says right here, inspired by the Pacific Northwest, Kristi created this palette to capture her love for her home state. With rich mattes in a range of marigold, olive, and chocolate to create dimension, and magical metallics to highlight your look. Create Kristi's signature look grounded in the PNW. Fall in love with Kristi's ultimate earthy forest toned palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some swatches of this. As you guys know, swatches don't really mean anything. As you guys seen within my last video with Baby Yoda, it's kind of like I swatched the green within there and then it came on my eye totally different than the swatch. So this just shows you that working on the eye is actually more important. But let me go ahead and do a swatch of this shade right here called Let It Rain because this one does look very pretty. It's kind of like a, oh wow, that is really dark. It's like a black with, I would say, kind of like pinky gold. Like there's pink shimmer and gold shimmer. Oh yeah, that one is, whoa, that one is super pigmented, y'all. Let's see if it goes and shows right there. Look at that. It actually doesn't really come out so shimmery. I would call this one more of a satin and not a shimmer. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the shade Amanita. I don't know how to pronounce that. Honestly, y'all, like I watch a lot of RawBeautyKristi's videos, but I don't know like the correlation between this palette and her life. I believe, like, I know does she live in like Washington or Oregon, something like that. So I know it was inspired by that, but that's about it. So this shade right here is really pretty. It's a plum shade, which on the swatch it does look a little bit patchy, but as I said before, swatches don't really matter. So I want to use this shade today because I haven't done anything kind of like yellowy. So I want to use this one, which is Chanterelle. I don't know how to pronounce these things, y'all. And I know you guys always come for me in the comment section because I can't read, but I'm trying. Anyway, Chanterelle, I believe. So yeah, this is this one right here, which is a really pretty tone of yellow. She must really like yellows because I noticed within her palette with Pure there was beautiful yellows within there. So let me go ahead and swatch this one right here, Evergreen. I do believe I will be using this today because I really like it. But let's go ahead and see how it swatches. Oh, this one is kind of like a topper. I mentioned that within the Baby Yoda palette. This looks like a little bit of a topper. As to where, sorry, you guys are like, what are you talking about? Within the Baby Yoda palette, I was like, oh, this one looks super shimmery inside the pan. And then when I swatched it, it looked more of like a topper. It didn't really have a lot of pigment, but rather more shine. You know what I mean? Anyways, let me go ahead and clean off my hand, and I'm going to go ahead and place a whole lot of baking powder underneath my eye, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial portion of this review. All right, y'all, so I have extra baked right now. I really honestly think that I'm going to end up just wiping off my foundation. I wanted to try, however, I don't know, I'm just so messy with eyeshadow. Some people are just so good at like keeping it clean. However, I clean it up after, and I'm just like super messy, so that way I can like hurry up and get through it. And I feel like when you have your foundation done, you have to be a little bit more careful, which obviously takes a little bit more time. Anyways, another thing I forgot to mention about this palette is it is vegan as well too. There was some talk online stating like people didn't know if it was vegan, but it is labeled vegan on the website. So I believe all of Colourpop is vegan, so I don't know how that came up. I could totally be wrong, though. I haven't really done my research on that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shade Chanterelle. And I'm going to go ahead and like kind of pack that on kind of heavily because I really do want that yellow to show up, which normally if you guys watch my videos, I typically start off with a very dark shade first and then kind of blend up. However, since this is a yellow, I do kind of want to start off, you know, with this packed on. You know what? I forgot to zoom you guys in. Hold up. I was looking in the viewfinder. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are kind of far. So what I'm going to do is take this up high because I kind of want this to be, you know, up to my brow bone. Oh, the shade is really, really pretty. I love yellows, especially like a goldeny yellow on the eye. However, as you guys know, pinks are just my favorite on the eye. Oh, speaking of which, the shade Amanita, when I was trying to wipe it off of my hand, oh, it stained. So be careful with that one if you guys don't like staining. That one, as soon as I was wiping it, I was like, oh my gosh, the back of my hand is already pink, and it was on there for 1 minute. So this, I'm just going to go ahead and pack on. And just to note, because a lot of people like to know about this, there is a whole lot of kickback with this shade specifically. Like I always say before, I said this in multiple reviews, if a palette has a lot of kickback, like honestly, I used to like really trip about it within my reviews. I'm like, oh hell no, that's a whole bunch of wasted product. However, with as many eyeshadows that I have, I just kind of don't like really care about it too much anymore. However, I know that a lot of people like to know about it because not as many people, you know, have so many eyeshadow palettes like me. So with me, I'm like, yo, I don't even touch pan on any of my eyeshadow palettes. So if a little bit gets wasted, I don't mind. However, I do totally understand for the people who, you know, buy probably like 1 or 2 palettes per year, then it would, you know, obviously add up if it's a whole lot of wasted product. So just to note that there is definitely a lot of kickback on this one within the palette. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my MAC 239 brush with the shade called Rainer. So I'm going to go ahead and take this on the tip of the brush and then kind of build a little bit more of a defined crease. The reason why, like I said, I did the yellow first. Typically, I like to start off with the darker and then blend up, but I really wanted this yellow to show because I'm like, I haven't done like a yellowy look in a long time, so let me make sure that this gets packed on. And then I did want to note too, I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but that yellow shade did definitely have a whole lot of fallout on my eye, and I'm trying to be careful, and I'm like, ooh, there's still a lot of fallout. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and pack this on in the crease, and then I'll blend it up after back with that yellow. You know what's super crazy is I actually had a dream about Kristi last night. So random, like, oh my gosh, because you know I've been watching her stories and she just had her baby, and in my dream, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna film this video today, you know, and then in my dreams I picked her up from the hospital and I was like, hey girl, where's your baby? And she's like, oh, he's with his dad, and we were supposed to go to my friend Genevieve's nephew's little birthday party, and she's like, okay, so let's go and get some cake. You know, I just really want some cake. And I was like, but don't you want to be with your son? She's like, no, he's with his dad. It's fine. And I was like, but girl, you just had him yesterday. Like literally in my dream, she had her baby the day before. And she's like, no, I don't want to be with him. I just want cake. It was just so random. And then we went to Genevieve's house and she's like, okay, where's the cake? And literally, I just want birthday cake. And I was like, okay, girl, we're going to get you some cake. Like, calm down. Just such a random dream, you know? It's so crazy how dreams are, you know? Because that was just totally out of left field. I'm like, okay, Kristi just wants some cake. You know what's so funny though? Is I think the reason too why cake was in my dream like that is because I've been craving like birthday cake. Like, I don't know why for some reason I'm like, oh, can somebody have a birthday? Because I want some birthday cake. Totally random. So I feel like, oh, I was thinking about Christy right before going to sleep. And then that earlier that day, I was like, I want some birthday cake. Totally random dream. But I thought I would share that with y'all because this is Christy's palette. So, you know, a little weird story time. All right, y'all, I just want to note right here that this shade Rainer got really funky. If you guys can see right there, that looks absolutely horrible. It just kind of like oxidized in one area and then just got really light there. Super weird, and I did try to pack it on more. However, with the specific look that I'm going to be doing, it doesn't really matter because I am going to cut the crease, and right where that dark line is that you see is where my crease is going to be, so it's totally okay. However, if I was doing kind of like a matte smoky eye, I would be real heated right now because that looks really bad. So I just want to know, maybe it's not working well with the shade Chanterelle underneath it, or maybe it's not working well with the P. Louise base. That just looks really bad, as you guys can see from right there. So keep that in mind, you know, if you guys are going to be using that, because oh my gosh, it looks really bad. So what I'm going to do right now is just take a little bit more of the shade Chanterelle and just kind of like buff out these edges just to bring a little bit more yellow back into the look. But don't pay attention to that ugliness right there because, like I said, that's where my crease is going to be. So it's all good for this look, but yeah, that looks pretty bad. All right, y'all, so as you guys can see, I cut my crease right where it was getting a little bit funky. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take the shade Homegrown with a small little brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this in the outer corner. I'm gonna do kind of like a halo-y eye, so I'm gonna pack this on in the inner and outer corner, and I'm gonna mix a little bit of that shade Rainer, and I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't get funky, but I do want it to be warm. I don't want it to be this dark, so hopefully it'll lighten that up, but let's see how this goes. This shade also has a whole lot of kickback in the pan and a lot of fallout, so I'm gonna have to move very slowly with this. Now I'm taking just a little bit of the shade Rainer and putting that just right on top. And it's okay if it's starting to look a little bit messy where the lid is gonna go, because when I put the shimmer on, I'm gonna blend it on top of the matte as well. So as I was packing more in the outer corner of the shade Rainer on top of that to kind of make like a, you know, deep orangey brown, it started separating again. I don't know if I'm the only one that has this problem with the shade Rainer. I don't know what is going on, but you guys can see right there it's getting patchy, and I actually took the shade Homegrown. I'll take a little bit more right now and just kind of like, I try to pack it on top and it won't cover that. It just looks kind of patchy. I don't know if you guys can see that. If it's, yeah, it is showing on camera according to my little viewfinder right here. Yeah, I don't know what is up with this. I like was trying to pack the shade Homegrown just to cover it up, and then it just, I don't know, some parts are light, some parts are dark, and it just looks a little bit messy, which really sucks. And I think that it's that shade Rainer because it did the same thing in my crease. Other than that, this look would be looking really bomb, but that's just like super bothering me right now. Ugh. Anyways, I'm just going to keep on trying to pack on color on top of it, try to make it look as best as possible. But as you guys can see from right there, that patchiness is just, it's really bothering me. But I'm just going to keep on packing on Homegrown on top of that, and hopefully it'll cover it. Okay, it's just staying a little bit patchy like that, but it's all good, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing in the front as I did in the outer corner. I'm just gonna put on lashes, and I think that'll cover it. Hopefully, we'll see at the very end, but for right now, I'm just like, oh, it's bothering me, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and see right here in the front. I'm not gonna take too much of the shade Rainer. However, I do want it to match the outer corner, so I still do need to take a little bit of it. So let's just go ahead and see how it turns out in the front. Okay, so that shade Rainer was just really bothering me, and I just started packing it on because I'm like, you know what? It's getting difficult to work with. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take the shade West Coast, which is the golden shade. I'm going to put that on first, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the evergreen. Or you know what? Maybe I might not. I'm really not too sure yet. I'm going to see how this looks by itself first. I hope there's not a lot of fallout on this. I'm going to go ahead and blend this all over these edges right here because it just looks so messy. Oh, that shade is really pretty. Oh, yeah, I really like that. You know what? I'm just go ahead and stick with this gold by itself. I'm not going to use the shade Evergreen after all, like I said I was, because I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and pop some gold in here, and I feel like that would look really pretty with the browns, and it'll blend over with this a little bit better because, this got so messy. And I'm like, it would look really, really good, but that shade Rainer just, I don't know, it's not working for me very well. Even though the shade Rainer is kind of bothering me, I am going to take it, though, on the edges of this gold because I just feel like that's the only shade within the palette that's going to kind of blend over into this gold to, you know, give it a nice blend. Any other shade just kind of won't go with this look that I have, but hopefully tapping it on top of this gold, it'll be fine, but definitely with the other mattes, it just did not play well with them, which sucks because it's a really, really pretty shade. It just, I don't know, has some type of I don't know, like a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, why can't I not think right now? Oxidization issue with it. It just does not sit right. Okay, so let's see right now if it will sit right on top of this gold, because normally when I do a look like this, I like to take that shade, which is kind of like, I would say, the second to deepest shade, and just tap it on the edges. So I feel like it should be fine with this because I'm putting it on top of a shimmer, not a matte. So let's see how tapping this on will be. Okay, I'm gonna just have to take the gold over it because I don't know, this shade just, it's getting funky. Like you guys can see right there too, it picks up in some areas and it won't pick up in the other areas, but I'm just gonna go ahead and take a little bit of it and then just go back over again with the gold because it's just looking a little funky. I don't know what is up with this shade specifically, but it seems to be the only one that is having a problem. Okay, I was going to go underneath my eye. Honestly, like, look, I try to get this as best as possible, but I think with lashes, obviously, it'll look a little bit better. Anyways, I was gonna go with the bottom of my eye with the shade Rainer as well too, but that one is just giving me trouble. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Puffball instead, even though the shade itself, I feel like would look really, really nice Rainer underneath my eye rather than Puffball, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I would say a little bit of like a mustardy brown. I don't think it'll go too well. I mean, well, actually that looks pretty good. I just felt like with the warmth it would look a little bit better. However, I'm just gonna make it work with this shade. Oh yeah, the shade is pretty. I feel like that goes. Even though I would have liked to have sticked with the warm tone, you know. But that shade is just, it's bothering me, y'all. Oh my gosh, I was sitting here off camera for like 10 minutes trying to make it work, and it was just looking funky. I want it to be a little bit deeper underneath my eye, so I'm going to go back in with the shade Homegrown. By the way, I forgot to mention the brush I'm using is the Colourpop E3 brush. So I'm going to take that and just press it right up against the lash line, because I'm going to go in with my same old nude liner like I do in every single video, because I like to make my eye look a little bit bigger. So if you go in with a darker shade on your lash line and then in your waterline take a nude, it just makes it pop a little bit more. So that's why I want to do this. I really like the shade Puffball, by the way. So far every shadow is working really good except for the shade Rainer. That one is, oof. Y'all, I'm gonna just throw it out of this palette because it is just difficult. Like, oh my gosh, I was struggling with that one. But anyways, it's all coming together now. All right, y'all, so I got this eye all done right here. I'm just gonna go ahead off camera and put on some liner and lashes, and then do my other eye off of camera and put on a lip as well too, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final review. Alright, y'all, so this is the completed look right here. Just in case you guys are wondering what is on the rest of my face, for my foundation, I'm wearing the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick Foundation. On my cheeks, I'm wearing the Lunar Beauty Blush Palette with Marc Jacobs Bronzer. For my lashes, I am wearing the Creme Shop T lashes. Y'all, oh my gosh, I always rave about these lashes, but like, I don't know, for my eye shape, I just absolutely love them so much. I didn't get them from the Creme Shop, though. I got them from TJ Maxx, y'all. They were only $4, so I really like them. On my lip, I am wearing Flirt Heart by Huda Beauty. So to give you guys my final review of this palette, I really like it. However, the shade Rainer, oh, it got on my nerves so much. It was so difficult to work with and just getting patchy and separated on this eye as well too. In the outer corner, if you guys watched my tutorials before, this right here to me is just not blended well at all. However, I mean, I feel like the look is still cute, but I don't know, whenever I do this type of look, this outer corner is just blended so much better than this, and I was just having so much difficulty with the shade Rainer, and that's pretty much the only shade that I would have put right there to go with this style of look, because Homegrown transitioning into Rainer, transitioning into West Coast, which is the gold shimmer on my lid, would be very beautiful. However, that shade Rainer just did not work well whatsoever. It just oxidized in certain areas. It was very patchy. It just it looked really bad. However, the rest of the shades were absolutely beautiful and easy to work with. The only shade that I had problems with is Rainer. So if you guys have this palette, let me know how you guys like that shade Rainer. Maybe it's just mine, I don't really know. Maybe it just didn't play well with the P. Louise base. I don't know, y'all. I was trying my hardest to make it work because I really like the look. However, I just don't like how this is. I don't know, it just still looks and not very well blended, but I really did try. So anyways, y'all, let me know how you guys like this palette if you do have it. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.